where we should learn something about olive oils from the European Union. This event is part of a greater promotion campaign the EU is doing on the title More Than Food, and which is supposed to raise awareness about EU products in India. What is the background of this event? We all, Indian consumers like European consumers, like to have a greater choice of foodstuff. We like to have foodstuff from all over the world. And we also like to have, nowadays consumers like to have more healthy food, more healthy diet, lighter diet, greener diet. And on the other hand, the EU, European farmers and food processors have a lot to offer. So we have 27 member states which have a different culinary heritage, and they produce a huge variety of various foodstuffs, which we would be happy to bring together with the Indian consumers. So today's event is dedicated to olive oil. Olive oil is a staple food in the Mediterranean part of the European Union, so around the Mediterranean Sea. We eat a lot of olive oil. Average consumption per capita in Greece is 14 liters per year, so there is no Greek salad without any olive oil. EU is a leading producer of olive oil. Biggest country is Spain, and is also the biggest exporter. But we also produce olive oil in France, Portugal, Italy, Greece, Croatia, Cyprus and Malta. We have here today a variety of several countries, and I hope you enjoy the evening, and I would like to invite now our brand chef Ajay Chopra to take over to share his experience with us. And I hope we all learn something and we have an interesting evening. Thank you.
This is Chef Ajay Chopra. I am the brand ambassador for this program, which is called as More Than Food India. The whole idea of doing this program is to introduce to a lot of people who do not know about European foods, and for people who've been using European Union products, to bring them closer as to how we can use this more indigenously and more to do with our cuisine. So, we're going to do various things today, very interesting things as well. So we're going to taste olive oil. You must have gone to wine tasting sessions, whiskey tasting sessions. Today you are here to taste oil. Okay? So it's exciting. Okay, so you're going to learn a new thing about about olive oils today. So, but before that, I just want to kind of talk about a few things about the Olive Oil Food Lab, and why we are doing this is because when it comes to olive oil in India, we were just talking, Chef Dhruv here, and we were talking about how olive oil is such a misunderstood thing in India, right? A lot of people think, oh, olive oil is healthy, I must eat olive oil. But what about olive oil is healthy? What is it that I need to know about olive oil, that this is right and this is wrong? What is right, what is wrong? Every food product has its nuances. So let's learn and understand that whole aspect of it. And whilst we are talking about this, I do want to talk about that, I've been associated with this whole campaign, More Than Food India, and I'm very proud to say that, when I've started to learn more about each and every product, 4 things stand out for me. That is authenticity, sustainability, quality and safety. These 4 things which are the most important things when I'm choosing any food product as a chef. I need to go back and see these 4 pillars in everything that I do. And I think this stands out for all European Union products because there's such stringent checks and measures which are in place before they even get shipped out to any country. So I think before we get to the tasting of the olive oil, we're going to look at a presentation that we prepared. We're going to take you through some stuff. I would need your help, Maria, for the numbers bit, because I think you are the champion in those numbers bit. I'll call you for that. So like I was saying that, European Union has 27 member states and has food products coming from these states. Olive oil specifically comes from 9 of the member states from the European Union. Now we're talking about standards and checks and measures. Everybody who knows about wine also knows that a great wine has got a great stamp on it. You know, you can't sell a great wine without appellation de contrôle or the ADOC or the DOC signs. Similarly, olive oil also has classifications, and most of the EU products are graded under PDO, which is protected designation of origin. So any produce that is you're seeing in your hands, you can actually date back to where it was grown. You can also have a GI protected stamp here, which is the PGI. Then obviously the organic logo, if it is produced organically or no, or it is just said organic. No, it's not. It's got a proper test done behind it, and that's how the logo comes into being. So when we talk about olive oil in the EU, I think Maria was talking about how much of olive oil is produced. Across the world, there's almost 3 million tons of olive oil which is produced, and out of the 3 million tons, 2 million tons is produced in Europe and the European Union, right? And out of that, 680,000 tons per year is exported. Now, when we talk about European Union, member states who actually are the 9 states which produce olive oil: Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece. Then there are, I think there are more states mentioned somewhere. Yeah, 9 member states are Spain, Italy, Greece, Portugal, France, Slovenia, Croatia, Cyprus, and Malta. All this while, probably we thought that good olive oils only come from Italy or Spain or Greece, but there are 9 member states who actually produce some great olive oil, which is sent across the world. Yeah. Okay. Well, so when we talk about olive oil exports to India, this is where I need your help, Maria, as to the numbers, because I was quite intrigued that, my God, 8,215 tons of olive oil which comes to India.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how much we use already.
Yeah. It looks a lot, but compared to our total export, it's 1%. It's 1% only. So it's
you guess that's right, and that's why we're having this event.
There is room to improve. There's a lot of room to improve. So in total, in 2021, I checked the numbers. We exported close to 800,000. So it's about 780,000 something tons have been exported in total, and so this 8,000 would be.
And if you talk about the classification, out of these 8,000 tons, how much do you think would be extra virgin?
I think it's the majority.
Is the extra virgin?
Yeah, it's the majority of everything. So
I think that's where the understanding
is. The best used. You will tell us later on what for we can use it, but for all the salads, this is the best one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you, Maria.
And you will also, I think Spain is the country with the biggest production.
Yeah.
But also the others have very nice olive oil with a different taste. So
that's right.
We will not judge on big or small.
Yeah, but it's also the produce and what the climatic controls and the climatic conditions are that actually defines the flavor of the olive oil. We'll get to those tasting of the olive oil when we get there. But let's just learn a bit about olive oil. When we talk about olive oil, there are majority of 3 kinds that we look at. We're going to look at that. But when we talk about authenticity, safety, quality, and sustainability, what are we talking about here? Now, I have been fortunate enough to actually go to an olive oil farm, see the whole olive oil production, and I've actually seen it from the tree to the bottle. And when we talk about authenticity, every single farmer who's bringing the olives to that factory, obviously one farm cannot supply all the needs of the entire factory, so there are different farmers who are coming. Now all those farmers are certified. When those farmers are certified, they have a tradition of having those olive trees, which are dated from many years. Their forefathers were doing this, they are doing this. It's not that, okay, I've just picked olives from somewhere and there you go. Everything is stamped, everything is known where it comes from. Safety, when it actually reaches, the olives reach the factory, then they are washed and they are dried, and then they go into the mulling process. At every stage, there are various checks and measures which are put in place so that there is no adulteration, there is no, hanky-panky stuff which is happening. It's all there in terms of quality. And obviously, every single farmer, they're more concerned about sustainability. They don't use any agri processes which are against our environment. So they're very environment friendly when it comes to growing of these, produce. So every single olive oil produced in the EU region, and this is again verbatim because I've been there, I've seen that from my own eyes. I'm not saying because it's a script. Okay, I've seen it, tasted it myself. I can say it very confidently that these 4 pillars are taken care of. So just for everyone who does not know the types of olive oil, we have extra virgin, then we have virgin, we have olive oil which is also pomace, and then there is olive oil composed of refined olive and virgin olive oil, which is actually a mixture of refined oils plus the olive oil. Now when we talk about we talk about the extra virgin olive oil with their acidity and their characteristics a bit more when we reach there and start tasting that. But just to know that, in the category of extra virgin olive oil, it is 3 things that we look for. One is the acidity. The acidity has to be low, which is 0.8%. The flavor has to be very fresh. So when we again start tasting, you will understand what I'm saying. Some of the olive oils actually taste like you have just eaten fresh grass. Some of the olive oils will give you a taste of, citrus apples. Some of the olive oils will give you a nutty flavor. So it depends on where the olives are coming from. It will actually define the taste of it. The virgin olive oil is also fruity, but has some light sensory, they call it light sensory defects, which means it's not perfect. So it's a little less perfect. The acidity should not exceed 2%. The moment the acidity exceeds 2%, the olive oil starts to taste a bit off. And pomace results in a mixture of refined olive oil and pomace oil with the extra virgin or the virgin mixed into it. This is how the production happens. So like I said, olives from the trees grown, then taken out, then go to the factory, washed, cleaned, and then the pressing happens. So the olive itself is crushed. Okay, so not the bottled olive, the fresh olive, the fruit gets crushed, and then from the crushing it goes to actually a big machine which the crush just revolves. Okay, and then it goes to the centrifugal machine where the oil comes out, and then the filtration happens. So in that mill, again, one of the olive oil companies that I was representing a few years back, that's how I saw their production. That man was 78 years old. He's the owner of that olive oil company, and he stamps every single batch of olive oil. So he tastes everything by himself and he rejects things. At which stage? At this stage, not at that stage. So before it goes into the bottle, he's actually checking that, and that's how passionate they are. It's a family-run business. It's years of hard work and tenacity that they brought into the entire game. They don't want to ruin it with anything. So that guy is actually sitting himself. He's 75 years old, sipping the olive oil himself, saying grade A, grade C. That's what he's doing, and then it happens to come to any of the markets that it gets supplied to. Okay, so what olive oils we have here today? We have olive oil from Spain, like Maria mentioned, one of the largest producer. 66% of total EU's olive oil comes from Spain. We will be tasting an extra virgin olive oil, a pure olive oil, and a pomace olive oil from Spain. We will be tasting an olive oil from Portugal, which is, Portugal's not as great a contributor, but the olive oil is superb. Actually they say that a meal isn't complete if you have not poured olive oil on a table, which means, every person's plate. So you have to dip a bread. It's a traditional thing in Portugal. So that's where we taste the extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil from Greece, again, 70 to 80% of all olive oil which is produced in Greece is extra virgin. So they are more extra virgin olive oil consumers in Greece, as well as what comes out of Greece. So we'll have the cold pressed extra virgin as well as the cold pressed organic extra virgin olive oil from Greece. And then we have olive oil from Italy, which again is the second largest producer after Spain. That's a 15% contribution to the entire European Union olive oil production. There we're going to taste extra virgin olive oil as well as extra light olive oil. So there's a small AV that we're going to see, but before that, as a chef, now I just want to say a few things and then we get to the tasting. I'm not going to bore you too much. It's too much of gyan anyways. Just before this AV, a few things. Now, today I had a lovely salad made by Chef Dhruv Oberoi. Thank you so much First of all, thank you for having us. I think this is one of the places, 20 years open, but still has its charm just as a new baby. So love olives. And Chef Dhruv, served me an amazing salad with amla and sour mangoes and sour cheese. Brilliant. And had a beautiful drizzle of olive oil. Right? Now, what does this beautiful drizzle do? It is not just flavor. It is also a health benefit. So in Italy, they say, like she was saying, that there was a number that you had put, 18 liters of olive oil.
14 liters.
14 liters of olive oil per capita, which means every person is drinking 14 liters in a month.
Yeah.
Wow. In a year, okay. So calculating that, almost 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons a day. Yeah, almost. That's a lot. Itna to hum ghee nahi khate, right? But the whole point is that when I learnt about this, it was so real that olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, has got a lot of antioxidants and polyphenols, which are great for your body because it reduces the risk of cancer, which means it's a superfood, which means that actually having and consuming it just like that is what you need for your body. So ideally, what they do is they don't cook with it, they pour it later. So when you're doing a pasta, you've done a pasta, you bring it on hot, extra virgin olive oil on top. You're doing a salad, extra virgin olive oil on top. Bread, olive oil and balsamic, dip, dunk in. That's how they consume olive oil. And if we can consume like that, great. But as a country, I think we are different, right? We like having things differently. So I have made extra virgin olive oil parathas with green chili. Tastes yum. I've actually done butter chicken with olive oil. And it tastes great. Trust me. So it's just that you have to start thinking differently and start using differently. Samosas could be fried well. You'll see that in the AV. In the extra light, because actually olive oil helps to create is a kind of a pseudo layer over the frying stuff. So because the density of the oil is lesser, so it doesn't actually penetrate inside the frying product, which keeps it light, right? So all these other oils which are light oils, that's the whole science behind it, that they're actually light in their weight. What is that called? Density, right? So density is very, very light, and that's why the oil doesn't penetrate right into it. So it's actually makes it more healthy and more crispier. Okay, so let's have this quick AV and then we'll get on to tasting the olive oil. The first one we'll go to is Spain. So one last thing before we get to the tasting is that, olives, where olive oil actually comes from, there any guesses how many varieties of olives available in this world? Any quick guesses? Take a guess. That's a good guess. 230 plus varieties of olives across the world that you get. And olives actually go way back 3000 BC. So it's one of the oldest available plants that human race has been using it for a long time. And next question, olives, white, green and black, do they come from the same tree or different trees? Tukka hai? Tukka means guess. Okay. It's from the same tree, guys. Even I was quite confused when I saw it. Like, really? I can see black and green. So it's the same like green chilies, If they're on the tree for some more time, they turn red. So that's the whole thing. But again, different varieties. So Kalamata is one of the best varieties available in Greece. So let's get to tasting the olive oil. This is olive oil tasting. This is extra virgin olive oil from Spain. And there is a way to actually taste this. So I'm going to show you how I learned in Italy how to taste an olive oil, how to understand the flavor profile of an olive oil. And before we do that, there's a reason why these come in these dark bottles. Any guesses? Yeah. Olive oil has got 3 enemies. One is sunlight, direct sunlight, pure enemy. Second is air, oxidation. You leave it open, olive oil is gone. So which means that when you open your olive oil bottle, it ideally should be consumed within 35 to 40 days, but always keep it sealed, always keep it, in the dark, never keep it where the sunlight comes in. And the third bad friend is obviously moisture, because oil and water don't go well. Now, okay, great. So, any olive oil, you first do a sensory test of the smell, right? So your nose can only smell one element of the sensory experience, but I can't define it what it is. So I'm going to go with doing this. Okay, don't laugh at me. This is funny, but this is how it is done. So we basically sip the olive oil, but in a very different form. The oil should not go inside, it should stay in your palate. And then what you need to do is and then do this. That noise should come. And what this does, and you will do it yourself, it actually fills your entire palate with a beautiful aroma. Now what I sense here is nutty, a little bit grassy smell, and the fresh. I've almost reached like I'm lying down in a grass field and I've tasted something which is beautiful, nutty. So that's how olive oil just fills your mouth and gives you that sensory experience. And that's what olive oil is supposed to do. So every olive oil is different, every extra virgin is different. It's the way you taste it, you understand the entire flavor profile of it. And it is as good as tasting wine or whiskey or any great produce, right? So this pure olive oil from Spain is an excellent all-purpose cooking oil that complements multiple palates. It's suitable for all types of regional flavors and the best of Indian dishes, from sauteing or roasting to baking to frying. The other guys can actually take a piece of bread, dunk in the oil and taste it. So you could do 2 types of tasting. Yeah, little more. Yeah, this is good. With this, the olive oil actually fragments into small particles and goes all around your palate. You're not drinking the olive oil. And then when the olive oil is all around your palate, then you do, it actually fills, now you get it? Now for a few minutes, if you don't need anything, you will be just, high on olive oil. That's how beautiful it is if you start loving olive oil, if you understand olive oil. And that's the whole idea, that when you understand, the authenticity, the beautiful taste of this olive oil. The gentleman standing here is responsible for actually getting us all the lovely produce that we think of and imagine on our tables, and says, your wish is my command, and he gets it. So thank you so much. Let's do this. As funny as it may sound or look, but this is how you taste olive oil around the world. One, two. So grassy, huh?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So grassy. This is almost like you just chewed on some wheatgrass. You know, dunya wheatgrass khati hai because for being healthy. This has got that grassiness in it. Now the grassiness obviously comes from the temperate climate that is around, and you know, Greece obviously has beautiful Mediterranean weather. You know, nice tropical heat as well as some amount of chill, which actually makes the olives beautiful, and that's how you get this amazingness. Any more tips that you would like to give on?
also when you taste this, if you are able to little evolved sensory, you'll be able to taste some apples, because anything which grows around those trees, the olives adapt to the flavor of anything which is grown around.
Yeah, actually,
So notes or something would be.
yeah, that's beautiful addition. You know, because the apple kind of flavor again is that fresh, beautiful, you know, fruity flavor that gives that olive oil that amazingness. Because by the look of it, if I put this in this and give you a blind tasting, you will not come to know which is which olive oil. But unless you taste it, that actually is more stronger. This is more like when you talk about taste and
That's a wooden
this is
very
woody.
woody.
Yeah, so that one is less fruity. This is more
This
fruity.
is more fruity, more fresh,
Yeah.
and your mouth will be, when you're coating the mouth, it still remains. It is not going to fade away fast. That would fade away fast.
Fast. How many of you had ganne ka juice? All of us, right? You see how ganne ka juice is made. The guy puts the ganna first time. That's extra virgin.
Oh.
And the same ganna goes inside second time. That's virgin.
Oh.
Right? It's the same olive, but it's just crushed more. Right? So the first cold press is the extra virgin olive oil.
And can you heat the extra virgin?
So again, a lot of myths around it. So the whole idea between this being so healthy, the polyphenols actually vaporize at the temperature more than 120. So the way we cook in India is we heat a pan then put oil. But in Italy it's the opposite. They put a pan, they put oil, and then they start to heat. So the olive oil never reaches a temperature which is above 80-85 if you're cooking with an extra virgin. But if you're cooking with a virgin or an extra light, then 180 degrees, 190 degrees you can take it up. The low calorific value and the low smoking point actually makes it more healthy.
Extra virgin should not be
Heated.
heated.
To that point.
To that point, 85-90 degrees start with that. One last thing about any olive oil bottle, you know, this olive oil bottle could have olives from at least 12 different fields. At least 12 different fields. You know, not one field can ever get this produce, this whole fruitiness, this balance right. And that's what I was saying, that before it gets packaged, before it gets bottled, the actual taster, there's a full tasting department which sits there. Now, olive oil degenerates as soon as it comes in contact with temperature, air, as well as heat. You know, so all of that is very temperature controlled, but still the oil is pressed. So it has to start the process of oxidation. It's already started. You know, so it all happens through the process of one day. So olive pressed somewhere, no, olive coming from everywhere, getting together, crushed, becoming an oil, and then oil either getting passed or ejected. Can you imagine? Right? So much oil is also getting rejected.
I have a question. How long can you keep a bottle of olive oil?
Well, ideally, if I was you, I would keep it in a dark place, and if a bottle like this, and I'm using almost every day, 45-50 days,
Not more than a few.
well, you could use it, like, you know, there is no use by date, but you start feeling the difference. The oxidation will actually make the oil a bit rancid, and then as you go, the acidity increases because of the oxidation. So you'll start feeling that fresh flavor that you taste today versus what you taste after 70, 80, 90 days, very different. Right? Nothing's gone wrong with the olive oil. You know, it's like kaju, you know, fresh kaju versus little rancid kaju. Right? 5%, but very quality olive oil. You know, only extra virgin mostly is prepared. And what we've got here is an extra virgin olive oil from Portugal. It's A flavorful oil made with olives of the highest quality, fresh aroma, notes of nuts and apples. So just look out for nuts and apples. Slightly sweet, slightly bitter. Okay, now to make this place interesting, who can tell me what umami is? Okay, umami, yeah, it's the sixth flavor. It's that flavor which you can't figure out what it is, but you say, right? Somebody's mommy said, bad joke. But I think, when we talk about umami, it's the combination of flavors which come together. When any of these three flavors coming together, bitter, sweet, salty, you have a burst of flavor. You have sweet, sour, salty, burst of flavor. Now, anything like that creates that burst of flavor is umami for me. Right? Now, different chefs define different umamis different ways. For some people, miso has a different umami. Right? Eggs have a different umami. MSG has a different umami. But again, umami is not one flavor. It's that flavor which you can't really put your finger on. Say, something I love about it. I don't know what that is. Right? That's umami. So you are going to taste a little bit of umami here because there is a slightly sweet, a slightly bitter, and a slightly spicy notes. But it's very smooth and a very balanced finish. So let's do the olive oil tasting again. Ready? Nobody's ready. Come on, pick it up. Okay, so this is olive oil from Portugal. We're looking out for fruity, apple, nutty, a little bitter, a little sweet notes. Yeah, and that's what we're going to taste. Okay, everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, don't say because I said it. Can you taste apple?
Walnut.
I can taste the sweet lemon.
Sorry?
Lemon.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I was learning Galati kebabs, my mentor who taught me Galati kebabs was very close to what the Kunde makes. And he actually took the mince and he smelled like 20 times, like this. And I said, what are you doing? He said, try and smell every spice. So now you can smell cardamom? Yeah. Now you can smell bada cardamom? Yeah. Soft? Yeah. So we're going to do that again till the time we actually get the apple. Because actually, for the first time, maybe my mouth is busy with something else. Yeah. The freshness of the apple, you get it then straight off. The nuttiness.
The green apple.
The green apple, yeah.
Green apple.
The bittersweet taste, it's just so beautiful. The bittersweet is just kind of filling my mouth. And I think this olive oil is really, to do nothing else but take a piece of bread and just dunk it and just have it like that. People think that this is unhealthy. You're having olive oil or oil spray. Trust me guys, it's not. It's because if you don't have it in this, you've got to be putting butter. This is better. Let's smell it. Okay. What do you smell?
I like the cake on the butter.
Okay. Yeah. So what do we smell? No, in terms of grassiness, fruitiness, nuttiness, grassiness, right?
Yeah, more grassy.
Yeah, more grassiness. Italians actually love their olive oil to be more grassy, more fresh. And now the olive oil tasting. So this is how the Italians taste.
Nice, beautiful.
This is grassy. This is like straight onto a grass field and you're become like a cow eating grass, right? No, but the whole point is that this is so fresh. Yeah, it's very lemony, it's very fresh. It's more bitter, right? It's more bitter, more potent. So the polyphenols are definitely on the higher side. Okay, and that's what makes it. Every member state has its seat. The whole point about those 4 pillars we were talking about. Now you taste the olive oil and you see how different they are from each other. Now when we say that olive oil from Greece, we already know that okay, I'm going to get a little bit of that sweetish taste, a more balanced mouthfeel. I'm not going to get a harsh bitter taste if I'm not a bitter olive oil tasting person. I may not like it, I may like the Greek one, but some people may like this. So every region has their uniqueness in the entirety of what they produce and how they produce, and that is what European Union believes in. The different member states and how their olive oil is different, how we can use this on our day-to-day food, how we can take it into our daily living. It's something which we have not actually grown up with, but something we can grow into. Right? Olive oil is something which is definitely a requirement in everybody's life. If I may put it very clearly, it will make you live longer. It is very healthy for you. The polyphenols will keep you away from cancer. So all those health benefits packed in a bottle. I'm giving you reasons and ways of how you can use it in your daily life, and I think that's what we wanted to do, to basically take you through this journey of how olives are grown, how they are then pressed, how the olive oil comes out, how it is different, how it is tasted, what are the things that you look out for. Now tomorrow you can actually say, hey, I know a thing about olive oil, how to buy it. So that's very important because a lot of people have misconceptions about olive oil. So my final thing, any questions, we'll answer it right now. So again, we'll go back to that slide number 9 or whatever it was, but basically extra virgin olive oil, then there is virgin olive oil, then is light olive oil that you'll see on the shelf, then you have extra light that you'll see on the shelves. You'll also see pomace, right? So extra virgin olive oils ideally is for salads, for drizzling on bruschettas, for drizzling on your pastas. Ideally not used for cooking, but if you're using it for cooking, then don't take it above 90 degrees is what extra virgin olive oil should be. Virgin olive oil can be used a bit for cooking, but again your temperature should not go above 150. It should be used for drizzling again. It can be used for cooking. When we go to light and extra light, they can be used in full-fledged cooking, whether it's for deep frying, whether it's for sauteing or making your curries, you could use that. And pomace in the same way. So this is how all the different varieties of olive oil could be used in your daily life. Thank you everyone.